posted a video a couple weeks ago talking about the future of this channel and how I wanted to expand it from not only just doing movies, but also anime and television going forward. In that vein, today I'd like to talk about my favorite anime of all time, and I don't think it's something that everyone's really going to expect. But before I get into my favorite of all time, you should know a little bit about me as far as my anime tenure and what I kind of grew up watching. My first anime that I ever watched was probably either Pokemon or Dragon Ball Z. I don't know which one I saw first. But to me, when I was a kid, I didn't view those as anime. I just thought of them as cartoons. I didn't really know what anime was until I got much older. In that vein, my first real animes that I watched were Initial D, Hajime no Ippo, Naruto, and Bleach. Those are the ones I really grew up at the age of like 10 or 11, really getting into, really enjoying, and they're the ones who introduced me to the anime world. And you say what you want, but I still stand by Naruto. That's still one of my favorite anime series of all time, and I stand by it. Now, unfortunately, the anime series that I love the most is almost never talked about, and I think it's in part because it's a sports anime, and those usually don't get as much play or as much praise as some of the other, more popular series out there. So without any further ado, my favorite anime of all time, Cross Game. Have you heard of it? Probably not. I don't know. Not a lot of people talk about it. It was on Hulu Plus for a time, if I do recall correct. But there are very few shows that actually tug on my heartstrings. The most recent one that I can think of would be Your Lie in April, and that is also a fantastic show, but it will leave you a melding, crying husk of a human being by the end of the show. So go ahead and watch the series, but know that when you cry at the end, it's my fault. And know that. Keep that in your head. Based on my extremely limited experience of Japanese baseball, I'm left with the impression that Japan really does love baseball, and my only experience is really through YouTube and anime directly. But if you've seen any sort of Japanese video of a pro baseball game in that country, they go crazy for baseball out there. It's kind of insane. Even in their high school, they actually have a thing called Koshien, which is basically their championship, their state championship in a way of baseball. It's basically played in this really massive major league style stadium, and it's a big spectacle for the entire country to look at, and that's where they actually recruit a lot of their baseball players that go on to play Japanese pro ball. And that's what this series is mostly based around, like any other Japanese baseball show is based around, is the team or characters in the show trying to make it to Koshien. But the reason behind why they're trying to get there is very unique and very different than other shows that I've seen. The only reason Ko Kitamura, our main protagonist, is trying to get to Koshien in the first place is to realize the dream of his late childhood love. That's right, you heard me correctly, late childhood love. At a very young age, Ko develops a loving relationship with a neighbor of his who owns a batting complex. Her name is Wakaba, and she dies at a very, very young age. But right before she dies, she tells a friend of hers that she had a dream where Ko Kitamura and another friend of theirs were standing on the mound at Koshien, where he's the pitcher and his friend is the catcher. And these two friends spend most of their high school life trying to make Wakaba's dream a reality, which I think is just beautiful. And that vibe, that feeling that I get from this show is what elevates it above all other shows for me, is that it feels like the two friends aren't just trying to get to Koshien just to, bolster their own ability or try to make it pro or whatever. They seem like they can care less if they ever make it anywhere in life. They just want to realize their friend's dream. So the whole show has this sort of grand overarching feel to it that these guys are accomplishing something truly great. They feel special. You feel special for watching it. You feel like you're watching a spectacle unfold every time you watch this show. And I don't know about you, I can't really say that for a lot of shows out there, and that's why this show for me takes my #1 spot and will probably always have a near and dear place in my heart. There you have it. That's my favorite anime of all time. What is your favorite anime? I'd love to hear it. Leave it in the comments below. Have you seen Cross Game? What were your thoughts on that? And do you have any other sports anime to recommend? I love sports anime in a general sense. I've seen stuff like Yaopeta, Hajime no Ippo, Eyeshield 21. Major was a long-running baseball show that I loved for a long time. But I'd love to always add more. There's never enough of them on TV. I think I watched the most recent one was Kuroko no Basket, but that was a good show as well. So I'd love to hear what you have to say. Let me know if you have any suggestions down below. And have a nice day. I look forward to seeing you next time.